go wait, we are live. We are live streaming and recording as well. Welcome, everyone.
Good morning. Hi, Gail. How are you today? Hi, Mark.
Good.
Hi. How are you today, Mark? Hi, Charlene.
Wade, what's your dog's name?
Her name is Elsa Marie. She's a good Southern dog. She has to have two names.
That's great. She's cute.
Oh, thank you so much. We think so.
I bet. I bet she rules too.
He is just a little bit spoiled.
Uh-huh.
Hey, morning, Will. How are you? Let's see. And Martine, can you hear me? Just kind of checking people's mics to make sure I can hear everyone before we get started. So if you can't just unmute and say hi, just make sure that your mics are working. I want to make sure I can hear your questions once we get started.
Hello.
Okay. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Thank you for joining us so early in the morning. It's 9:30 on the East Coast where I'm in North Carolina. If you're further west, it's even earlier. So thanks for getting an early start. Hope you enjoy the class. Gail's coming in. I have two Gails this morning.
Again.
It's a popular name. Morning, Gail.
Good morning.
Good to see you again.
It's been a while.
It has been. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Okay, let's see. All right, we got several other people that are probably going to join us before we get started, but I'm going to go ahead and start getting some of my housekeeping and setup work done. So we'll be ready to start in another minute or two. So I'm going to go and go ahead and share my screen. So you should now be able to see my slides. And I'm moving your pictures over to my other monitor over here so I can see you over here. All right, there you go. Narrow this down a little bit, that's okay. All right, there we go. And we got a pretty small class today, so I'm going to start out with everybody unmuted, but there's a good chance that during the course of the class, we'll pick up some background noise or echoes, and I may need to mute everybody. So just remember to check your microphone and see if you're muted before you ask a question or make a comment. Hi, Lil. Saw you come in there. Good morning. And I'm going to open up the chat. And so that is now open as well. So if anyone is having trouble with their microphone, you can reach us in the chat. Max from our Get Set Up TA group is here to help monitor the chat and help me with the class. Thanks for joining us, Max. Appreciate your help. But if your microphone is working, please do just go ahead and unmute and ask your question out loud. That way everyone else can hear your question and I will hear it and be able to get you a timely answer. Hi, Carmen. So you've come in as well. All right. So, right. So we are all, anybody have any if you have any problems with your technology, your camera or your microphone, Max can help you with that as well. Or you can just reach out to him via the chat at any point if you need some help. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. See Dell's coming in. So we're probably gonna have a few more people join us, but let's go ahead and get started. It's a big topic, a lot to cover. So this is building your first website. Do want to welcome you to the class. Hope you enjoy it. My name is Wade Yarbrough, and I'll be the guide for the class this morning. Briefly about me, I born and raised in a small town in Tennessee called Mason, Tennessee, just outside of Memphis. I got my undergraduate degree at Mississippi State and then went up to University of West Virginia for my my doctorate degree in psychology. That is experimental psychology. I've taught psychology in a number of different places during my career, but most of the time was spent installing and training users on hospital information systems. And what I love about teaching here is that I get to teach people that are in the class because they want to be, not because their employer makes them attend the class. And that is what we try to do, is to come up with classes that you'll enjoy taking and that you can take along with other people that are interested in that same topic. You can interact with each other. You can interact with the guide. So that's the basic premise of Get Set Up, is to create a very interactive, comfortable environment. We are recording the class, and any participant can request a copy of that recording by sending an email to help@getsetup.io. I'm going to put that in the chat as well. So in case you don't have that already in your email contacts, you can copy and paste it from the chat and put it in there. That's pretty much your one-stop shopping for any questions, comments, complaints, recommendations that you have for Get Set Up. It'll go here and then get rerouted to the right person. So this is the only email address you need to know. We are live streaming the class this morning as well. So I do want to welcome anyone joining us via live stream. Thanks for joining. I hope you enjoy the class as well. But I do want to reiterate that the only way to get that full Get Set Up experience where you can interact with other learners and the guide is to go to our website and register for the class. And finally, Get Set Up is not paid to promote any of the products that we train on. We are purely trainers. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's take a look at the agenda for today. This is an introductory class, so it's mostly conceptual. We'll start with talking about the benefits of having a website, why you might want to have a website. We'll review a number of websites, talk about the different parts of websites, how they may vary depending on the application, help you get ideas about your website. Then we'll talk about the steps you need to go through for planning and building a website. We'll review some of the website builder software packages out there, and then we'll end with a short demo, which hopefully will bring all that conceptual material together, seeing one of those website builder packages in action. All right, so let's start then with, why does my organization need a website? And I do say organization because it could be a for-profit business, it could be a not-for-profit, it could be a religious organization. Lots of different organizations and groups have websites. And one of the biggest reasons for any organization is the legitimacy it adds to your organization. Lots of times the first thing that people do when they hear about you or your organization is to go and Google you to see if you've got a website. And if you don't, it somewhat questions the legitimacy. It certainly does help if there is a website that they can find. The other big benefit is you can display your products and outline your services that you're offering. You can sell and promote from home, which is great these days. It's a good way to tie your social media sites together. So if you also have a business Facebook page and Instagram page, Twitter page, you can link all those social media sites to your website, move traffic back and forth among all those sites so that they're all being used. For businesses, especially a for-profit business, one of the big things you're trying to do is to drive traffic from your Facebook page or your Instagram page where they may have found you to your website where they can really get more information about you. And if you're selling something, go ahead and buy something from your website. So it's a great marketing tool to link this all together. And then finally, just the number of people you can reach, much more than you could if you were putting ads in the classifieds in your local newspaper or putting up flyers around town like we used to do. I want to go ahead and say, if you have questions and comments, please do go ahead and just reach out, unmute, and ask your questions or make your comments at any point. I'm going to be going over a lot of material, but if I go over something too quickly or you have a comment about it, please don't be shy. Just unmute and ask away. You don't need to raise your hand or anything. So we're going to first talk about some different types of websites and look at examples of different websites. Idea here is to explain the different parts of websites, but also to give you some ideas about things you might want to incorporate into your website. We're going to start with what's called an e-commerce website. And this is basically a website where people can buy something directly from your website. So if your website has a shopping cart and a way to take a credit card or PayPal to pay for what they're purchasing, you've got an e-commerce website. Amazon is the prototypical e-commerce website that everyone's familiar with. Most of the websites I'm going to show you are small local businesses in my hometown here now of Southport, North Carolina. First one we're going to look at is a business called Tail Feathers. It's a local store that also has a website and a web presence. Call out a few things, how they're doing it. We'll compare and contrast how some of the other sites do it. First off is contact information is critical. You've got to give people ways to get in touch with you. That's the reason that you're trying to get people to go to your website. So they'll either email you, call you, buy something from your store. So here they've got their email and phone number right at the top of the page. We talked about linking your social media sites. They've done that. They've got a Facebook page. So someone can click here, go to their Facebook page. If someone finds them on their Facebook page, they've got a link back to their website here. So if someone clicks here, it'll take them back to their website. So you kind of completes that loop. No matter where you are, you can get to the other one. And you do different things lots of times on your Facebook page like they're doing. That's where you can call out products that you're running specials on and try to attract business that way. And then get them to your website to buy things. Let me go back to their website. They say what they do. They sell unique hand-painted vintage furniture and accessories. They do have a physical presence. They've got a store. And if you do, what they've done is a great idea. Put a picture on your website. So if someone's driving down the street looking for you, they'll know what your store looks like. It'll be much easier to find you than if all they've got is a street address, which are sometimes hard to see. They do include their street address and their hours of operation as well. And they include an insight contact form. Almost all websites have these now, where if I don't want to send an email or call you, I can just put in my information here and ask my question, make my comment, and submit. So it's another way for them to contact you. They put their email address down here and their location as well. And at the very bottom, they got their phone number again. So one thing that is a little different they're doing, they've kind of got contact information all over the page. I guess one nice thing about it is almost no matter where you are, they've got some contact information. But what a lot of people do is pull all this together and put it into a separate page. And I'll show you some other sites that do that. I sort of like that approach better, but there's no right or wrong way to do things. They're just options. So this is the home page. That's where we landed. They only have 2 pages on their website. They've got a shop. This is where you can buy items over the web, as in addition to going into the store. So if I don't want to go into the store, but I want to get those earrings for my wife's birthday, I can just come here and click on that item. And from here, it works very much like Amazon. It's not quite as slick and sophisticated as Amazon, but it serves the same purpose. It shows you the item. They can provide some additional information. I can select my quantity if I want to order more than one, and I can add it to my cart. I have a shopping cart. You can see I've bought some other stuff in here. So you can add stuff to your shopping cart until you're ready to check out. When you're ready to check out, you click View Cart and put in your credit card, and you can check out. Again, works very much like Amazon from there. Questions about this site before I move on? Oh, here's my my cart up here, my shopping cart up here. You can see there's 6 items in my shopping cart. So that's an e-commerce website, a very simple one. Again, built and run by the owner of that store. It's not something you need an IT degree to be able to do. The next type of website is a not-for-profit website. I know lots of people taking this class or working with a not-for-profit or a religious organization of some type. And some of the biggest differences there is that, they're explaining their services and items that they're providing, much like a for-profit. But they also include ways to donate money or items, which is specific to not-for-profits, as well as to get people to volunteer. Most not-for-profits need volunteer help. This is Food Bank of North Carolina. This is a bigger website, bigger organization, but it's a good example of a not-for-profit. So I use this one because it does a good job of most of these things we've talked about. Here's their links to social media. They have a lot of different ones: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. They have an About Us page, which we'll talk a lot about in some, but that I think website should have an About Us page to tell the people a little about who you are, whether you're a small business or a larger organization. And our work is where they talk about the things that they do. But those things specific we talked about are how to get involved. So this is where if I want to volunteer at the food bank, I can come here and click the volunteer link and it will show me how to volunteer. In this case, there's several different branches. So I click on the branch where I want to volunteer and fill out the form. It tells me what's involved in volunteering, and then I'd have to fill out the form. I can also donate. So if I want to donate, and since it's a food bank, I could donate money or I could donate my time. So it takes me to where I can make a cash donation, and they make it very simple. They recommend some amounts, or I could type in a different amount. You could set it up for a monthly donation, several different ways to set that all up. And they got a way to donate up here as well. So works very much like the not-for-profits, except with the for-profits, but those are the 2 biggest additions: donate and get involved. Right. And again, if you have questions, please ask questions. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of keep going. The idea here is really just to give you some examples, some ideas of things you might want to do. Next, we're going to talk about a service website. So this is where someone is selling services instead of products, but using a portfolio. And a portfolio page is a way to show examples of your work. If you're in services, you can't show them what they're buying. But in some cases, depending on what your services are, you can show them examples of your past work, so they can get an idea of what you're doing. If you're a landscape architect, you can show the landscapes that you've done. In this case, this is a local photographer here in my hometown. So they can't show you what your pictures are going to look like, but they can show you pictures they've done for other people. A little more sophisticated website than Tail Feathers, but still done by the owners. But they're photographers, more artistic. So this one looks a little more artistic, different fonts, more use of pictures. It has the About Us page, which I personally like. I think all websites should have an About Us, especially services. You're going to be working with these people. You want to know a little bit about them. So they tell you about them. They even break it down. It's a husband and wife team. So they have, her story and his story and their shared vision, etc. So you could know a little about who you're doing business with. They've got a Contact Us page. I sort of mentioned when we were looking at Tail Feathers that I like this approach personally, where all that contact information is in one place. And I can get here instead of having it spread all around, but just a different way to do it. Main thing I want to talk about with this one, though, is the portfolio. This is unique to this one. Again, I can't see what my pictures are going to look like, but they can show me shoots they've done for other people. And they kind of break it into families. So if I want to see more pictures from this shoot, I can go into here and can kind of scroll through and look at other pictures that were part of this one. Get an idea of what their work looks like. Make sense? Questions? Got one more I'll show you. This is another kind of a special case of a service website, and this is for professional services. And professional services are typically things that require some type of a degree, license, certification, and it's not something you can show a portfolio. I mean, so examples are accountants, engineers, lawyers, therapists. They can't show me pictures of them accounting or engineering. So they take a little different twist. This again is a local therapist here in my hometown. Very nice website. This is probably the most sophisticated one we'll see, but this is one she does herself using one of the tools I'm going to show you later in the class. Has a lot more pages than the others. She's done a lot of work here, but some similar things. She does have a blog. This is the first time we've seen a blog, but a blog is where you can write short articles about your services or related things. It's a way to get people coming to your website. She has pages for the different types of therapy she does. So these are describing the services she provides. She's got the About page that I like. And she also includes on that page testimonials. So in terms of the About, at first she talks about the type of therapy she does, but then she talks about herself as well, where she went to school, where she's from, her approach to therapy. Fairly short. You don't have to have 25 pages. Her links to her social media are down here. Pictures, always nice. So you go there, you know who you're working with. She's also got a way to schedule an appointment online, which is nice, especially for if it's someplace where you do schedule. Or if you'd rather call than booking online, you can call. She also has here testimonials, which are nice for services as well. Since you can't see what you're getting, it's always nice to hear from people that have used your services to see what they have to say. And so she's got a number of testimonials here from her clients and former clients. And then contact. Well, we'll do contact, then we'll go back to one other one in here. Contact, fairly straightforward. Again, nice and clean. She's got her phone number. She's got a way to schedule the appointment online. Got her email and her physical address. She's also got a frequently asked question. This is not a bad idea for any website, but especially for professional services, because lots of times people have never used an accountant before. They've never used an architect before. They've never used been to a therapist before. So they have lots of questions. So it's nice to let people go to your website and get answers to those questions instead of having to call you and ask those questions. What I need to do, what can I expect in my first session? How do I pay? Do you take credit cards? How much is it going to cost, etc. So FAQs are a nice page for, especially for services organizations. Let me stop again for questions. If anybody has any questions about anything we've seen so far. Okay. Let's keep going. So this was kind of a little bit of a show and tell, just get you some ideas, get the creativity flowing. So let's talk about building one now, but you've got some ideas. Can I really build my own website? Yes, absolutely. That's one of the reasons I gave you examples from local small businesses where the owner did it themselves. You don't need to know how to program or code. You don't need to have a degree in design and art. These website builder software packages we're going to talk about for the rest of the class really help you get a very professional looking website with minimal amount of effort. And it's based on templates. You may be familiar with templates from working with tools like Word and Excel and PowerPoint. They work the same way. You start with a template, and then you just replace the text in the template with your text. You replace the pictures in the template with your pictures. But all the hard work has already been done for you. And again, I'll show you an example at the end of the class how that works. So the steps you need to go through to build a website, you have to have a domain name. That is how people get to your website. So in this case, for Alyssa's website, southportfamilytherapy.com is her website, her domain name. So you have to have a unique domain name. That's how people get to your website. I had a business that was called eaglespringsfarm.net. That was my custom domain name. Custom domain names have to be unique, so they can only be one. There's a national international registry where you register these names, which makes sure that it's unique. You can often get a free subdomain working with some of these website builder packages that we're going to talk about. One of them we're going to look at is called Squarespace. So if I'm using Squarespace and I don't want to pay for my own custom domain name, most of them will let you piggyback with a subdomain. So my domain name might look like eaglespringsfarm.squarespace.com. Not quite as nice. Doesn't look as good on my business card as eaglespringsfarm.net, but it's free and this one cost me. So that's an option if money is an issue, especially if it's a not-for-profit, you don't have much money for the website, saves you a little bit of money. You have to have a place, a computer system to house your website. And that's what a web hosting provider does. They've got the computers where when you're updating and changing your website, adding text, putting pictures in there, it's stored on their computers. When somebody types your domain name into their web browser, they serve up your website to them. So that's the housing. And then you need the website builder platform, the software used to build the website itself. And if you select an all-in-one website builder, and that's the ones we're going to be talking about today, they do all of this for you, which is the all-in-one. They'll help you get your domain name. They will provide the web hosting. They'll provide the website builder package. So you only deal with one organization instead of three. I think it's a great service. And if you're new to website building, I think it's the only way to go. If your business grows and you get bigger and more sophisticated, you can always split it out later and get your own domain name, or you can host it somewhere else. So there's lots of ways to go, but unless you're getting to be a very big business, all in one, I think is a great way to go. So once you pick your website builder, you just go in and pick your template. I'll show you how that works in a few minutes, and then start creating your content. Questions about that process to build a website? Okay. All right, we're going to keep going. And again, this is all kind of concept material. I think it'll all come together when we get to the demo.
Gail had a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Okay, you're still muted, Gail. All right. Oh, okay. I see it. I see it in the. Yeah, that's a good point, Gail. She's asking, do you lose your subdomain if you change providers? Yes. So if I wanted to leave Squarespace and go to Wix instead, I could get eaglespringsfarm.wix.com probably, so I could have another free subdomain, but it would change. And so anybody that had saved this address, that address would no longer be valid. One of the advantages of having your own custom domain, if I have this eaglespringsfarm.net and I'm using Squarespace, but I decide to switch to Wix, which is a competitor, I could keep this. So, and when somebody entered this URL, they would go to my website that's now hosted somewhere else. It's invisible to people coming to my website that I've moved from one website to provider to the other. Yeah, good point. Did that answer your question, Gail? Okay. All right, good. All right, great. All right, let's keep going because I want to make sure we got plenty of time for the demo here. A couple of considerations when you're trying to depict that website builder's software. And probably the biggest one is it's basically a continuum of ease of building versus customization. And if you think about it, that makes sense. If something's very easy to build, you typically don't have a lot of options. That's why it's easy to build. If you have tons of customization options, it's more complicated. That's how you can use all that customization. So think about it like a continuum. Very easy to build, not a lot of options, lots and lots of options, not as easy to build, and kind of you need to decide where you want to fall on that continuum. I mean, if you've got in your mind exactly what you want your website to look like, you're going to be over on this side. If you're like me and I'm not very artistic and I just want a nice looking website and I don't want to spend much time building and maintaining it, I'd be over here. If you're kind of balanced, you may be somewhere in the middle. So that's probably the biggest consideration. Pricing is a consideration, but it's not a huge difference. We're going to look at some pricing in a minute, but there is one consideration to think about, and it's called ad supported. And basically what that means is sometimes it's called unlimited, free trial, different names. But the idea here is that if you let them put ads on your website, there's no charge for it. So you don't pay that website builder for their package. You've got ads on your website, which a lot of people don't like, but that is an option. And again, if you're tight of money, you want to get started for little or no money, that's a good option. They all also have tiers, and tiers are like what you have with your cell phone package. I'm going to show you Squarespace's website, mainly because I like the way they break it down on their website. Makes the concept real easy to grasp. And again, this may look like your cell phone as well, but they got 4 different tiers, starting with the personal tier at $12, going up to $40 for the advanced commerce, a couple of options in between, but they break out what you get for each tier. So with the personal one, you get all this stuff. If you want some of this stuff, you got to bump up at least 1 tier, and then that keeps going. So if you want these things, you got to go all the way to the advanced commerce tier. Luckily, you can, again, like your cell phone, you can typically start with the cheapest plan. And as you're building, if you find something you really want and they say that only comes with our business plan, you can decide, well, do I want it enough to pay an extra $6 a month? And if I do, I can upgrade from the website. I don't have to call support and sit on hold for an hour to have somebody bump me up to the next level. You can do that yourself. So that's basically the idea, and what's included varies depending on which product you select, but they all have this tiered concept. But I would recommend starting with the personal one and only bumping up as you have to. Okay, so let's talk about these website builders that I've been mentioning. And this is from a website that I'm going to send to you in the email that comes out after class. And I'm actually going to send you 2 different links to 2 different articles that review website builders. So you can kind of compare and contrast both of those. They have pretty much the same list, of people. They rank them a little differently. They may see different pros and cons. That's why I included 2 of them. But these are the ones that I typically see. I probably looked at 7 or 8 of those review articles. Certainly these 3 are in everybody's top 5. Wix, Squarespace, and Weebly are really the primary contenders right now. There are some others. We're going to talk about these. And I took this from that website builder article because I like the way they structured it here. It's a good way to talk about differences to kind of help you think this through. So for example, they said that Wix is the best overall website builder and the best for free. They've got that unlimited with ads option, which means if you let Wix put ads on your website, they don't charge you anything. If you don't let them put ads on there, it's $13 a month starting price. There are multiple tiers. That's the first tier. Not much difference here in money until you get to these guys. We'll talk about them later.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
The unlimited ads. Can you like put family friendly? So say you have something a kid's website, they're not showing ads that wouldn't be inappropriate.
This is something you need to kind of look at to see. It may be different between, and the 3 that do this are Wix, Weebly, and WordPress of the ones we're looking at that have this unlimited with ads. And they may differ in terms of what those ads are, how many ads they can put on your page, how that all works. So that's something to research. And this article, I think, will give you some additional information about how it works and whether they're putting just their advertisement. They're just advertising Wix on your website, or are they going to be putting advertisements for some other company? So Wix is getting paid by Kroger to put a Kroger ad on your website. They may vary in how they implement this. So this is something to research and maybe would lead you to go if you are pretty much Weebly and Wix are neck to neck, but you like the way this one does the ads better than the way this one does, might lead you to pick this one. But that is something to definitely check out. And of course, you can always drop it and move up to the tiered one, but you are now paying more money. Best prepackaged designs is what they said about Squarespace, and that's a fairly common comment. Squarespace has, and by designs here, we're talking about templates. Squarespace has great templates. Easiest to use, again, this is pretty common. Weebly is often singled out as the easiest to use. So from that continuum we talked about of easy to use versus customization, it falls over in that easy to use category. Doesn't have as many customization options. Doodah is kind of on the other end. It's best for customizability. So if you know exactly what you want, you may want to go with Doodah. It may be a little harder to get there, but it'll give you more options. Godaddy is, they have best no frills options. You may remember Godaddy was one of the hardware providers, the web hosting providers. They also do website builders as well. So they've evolved into an all-in-one. WordPress has been around forever. I've read that about half the websites out there on the internet now are built with WordPress. So that's a safe, secure option. I think what's happened is that some of these newer ones are easier to use than WordPress. So they've kind of gotten more popular, but it's a good, safe option. It's the cheapest option. It does have the unlimited with ads as well. This writer says it's good for writers and bloggers, especially. And these two are kind of special cases. These are for big e-commerce sites. So if you've got, thousands of products instead of dozens or hundreds of products, and you're doing all sorts of different options and international shipping and those sorts of things, you may need to bump up to this level. But e-commerce websites, these all support e-commerce websites. And so if you're selling things and you've got 100 different products of things that you make or whatever, these will all do e-commerce fine for that level. This is, when you get into a much bigger shop, and the price reflects it. They have a lot more options for shipping and bundling and payment options and those sorts of things. But these all take credit cards. Will let you set up an e-commerce website. In fact, this may be a migration. If I was starting out, I'd start here. And if my business grows and grows, then you can always change and bump up to Shopify or BigCommerce. Put in if you need it. Questions about these guys? And again, read through those 2 links I'll send you in the email. Lots and lots more information about all these to consider when you're picking your website builder.
Wade, this is Dale. I have a question on
Sure.
Squarespace. Did you say that they do have ads or they don't?
Squarespace?
Yes.
No, they do not. Oh, and that's a good point, though. Thank you, Mitch, for bringing this up. What they have is a 14-day free trial. So you can build a website there without paying anything. And 14 days is way more time than you need to build a website, even if it's your first one. And you can only spend a half hour a day on it. You can easily build it in a week, or certainly within 2.
Quick question. So when you're in that 14-day window, I'm assuming you don't have to publish it. It's just in a test run.
Yeah, so then you can't publish it. So within that 14 days, if you decide to publish it, I think they charge you at that point. So you got 14 days to build it and decide you like it.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
And what I know about Squarespace, because that's the one that I've been playing with, it's not like some companies where you have to give them a credit card. And then if you don't cancel the credit card, they start charging you. You don't even give them a credit card until you're ready to push it live.
Okay, thank you.
And so these they all have free trials. You either get an unlimited free trial or you get a limited free trial, 30 days with Doodah and GoDaddy, 14 days even with these guys. So all of them, you can get it and build something, and see if you like it or not. And if you start with one of these and it's just not working for you, it seems complex and it's not making sense, go try another one. All that it's cost you is the few hours you spent working with Wix, and you decide you don't like Wix, so you go try Squarespace. You can try 2 or 3 of them. There's no financial costs. It's just your time and your learning during that process. So it's nice. You don't commit to something that you haven't tried out thoroughly. So let's,
Quick question. Any of them, can they be published on trial or no?
what was that, Gail? Can you?
Can any of them be published in the trial area or no?
Yeah, type it in. I'm not quite sure I'm understanding the publishing. So the basic, and for everybody that is not familiar with it, I don't think so. That's something to check. What she's asking, can you publish it and while you're still in the trial period? That's something that might be different between the different vendors. I'm pretty sure with Squarespace, when you publish it, that's when they want the credit card. So once you push it out to the web and start using it productively, then I think that's when they want the money. But I'm not even positive about that one. So that's a good thing to check and see. Is it for a free trial for 14 days, or when you go live, or can you have it live for a few days and then still change your mind and not pay anything? So that's something to check. And that may be in that article, but even in the article, these are things that change day to day. It may be one way today, and Squarespace could change their policy tomorrow. So it's always something you need to check and see by going to their website. Okay. All right. So let's go take a look and do a demo, and I'm going to demo Squarespace. That's one that I'm using here. So I'm just going to go to their website, squarespace.com. And I'm going to start by showing you how to do that domain name, because we mentioned that's the first thing you need. And if you go to products here and get a domain, if you already have a domain name, you can transfer it in and use it here. So maybe I was using Wix. I didn't like Wix, so I want to go to Squarespace. I want to bring my domain name with me so that people can still find me. That's how you can transfer it. If I don't have one yet, I can start the process here. Squarespace will help me find one. You just come here and you type the name of your business. I mentioned that I had Eagle Springs Farm. Why are you doing that? Thank you. And it will show me domain names that are available. The one I would probably want is eaglespringsfarm.com. That's kind of like what you would expect it to be. Somebody has that one, and only one person can have it, so it's not available to me. I could take eaglespringsfarm.net, and that's $20 a year. I could take eaglesprings.farm. That's looks nicer, shorter, but it's more expensive. So you have to kind of shop. What's after the dot really doesn't make any difference anymore. Used to be .com was commerce, and all commercial operations had a .com. Now there's so many businesses out there that what's after the dot doesn't mean much, except for those few that are reserved, like .mil for the military, .edu for educational organizations, etc. But it shows you lots and lots and lots of options. I think $70 a year is the most expensive one I've seen. 20 is the cheapest. So it kind of ranges through there. If you find the one you want, you can buy it through Squarespace. Again, this money goes to the registry, but they will, run your credit card, register it with the registry. When it's time to renew it, they'll let you know. You can pay for it through them. So it's like a service they're providing. They may be charging a fee for that. I'm not sure. You could go out to the registry and see if you could get it for $15 on your own. It may not be worth $5 to do it all yourself. Let Squarespace do it for you. But that's how you find and secure your domain name. Again, I'm going to go through this demo, but please stop if you have questions. We talked about all the templates. That's the heart of your website. So let's go to templates. And you could just start scrolling through the templates, and I'll kind of scroll through here for a second. It shows you, I'll get that out of my way. lots of different templates you can pick, and you can see there's what you're really looking for is kind of the feel. What does it look like? You can go in and look at them in more detail, so you can preview it. So you can go in to see what it's going to look like. Look at some of the different pages. This question's come up before. They do size it for a computer, for a tablet, and for a smartphone. Not that many years ago, you almost had to have 3 different websites. It was really hard to get it to look good on all the different platforms. They now do all of that for you. But in most cases, the easiest thing to do is to go with one that they've sort of curated for you. So what they do is they tell you, if you're doing a photography business, here are the templates that tend to work best for a photographer. And so you can kind of look through these and see, what do you want? Like, do you like to have a bunch of pages on the front page, or just one picture? Colors, fonts are other things you would be looking at. If you're doing travel, a restaurant, wedding planning, whatever, you can pick, and they've sort of curated it, taken a lot of the work out for you. I'm going to pick online stores because I want to show you how e-commerce works. So again, here's the best template matches if you're doing an online store. And in a lot of cases, it even depends on what you're selling. So this one is selling fashion, so it might be easier to start with that. This one looks like it's selling home accessories. Looking for one that I've used before. I'm not seeing it here. Let me see if it's up the top. If not, we'll branch out and use a different one. Okay, they don't have it, but let me find another one that I think will work with what I wanted to talk about. Oh, there it is. This is the one I've used before. This is another one. If you're selling plants, you probably want to start with this one since it's kind of curated for plants. My hypothetical business is selling produce. So I'm going to pick this one, which is a produce oriented one. So I'm going to say I want to start with Hester. Hester's the name of the template. It's copying that template down for me, so I can go in and start editing it. I can put my title here. Arbor Produce, very original, and continue. They've all got lots of help. And so these next few pages is just telling you the steps you need to go through to build it. I'm going to skip through those quickly. You would read through those in more detail and just say, get started. And so it starts with my home page. And I'll kind of show you, it's already put my title in that I put in there earlier, but I can start editing from here. I just click edit. And I can start editing. I don't like pickle perfection. I'm going to say fresh organic produce. That's what I'm selling. Very simple to change. So now same font, same placement, just my words instead of their words. I don't like the pickle picture. I don't like the color. I can change that. So I can come here to the background and I'm going to delete their picture. I can add an image from my device. So if I got a picture on my computer I want to use, I can use my own picture. If I want to go grab a stock image off the internet, I can do that. I'm going to search images on the internet. I can get free images, or I can pay for premium images. These are a little nicer, more sophisticated, but they cost money. I'm cheap. I'm going to go with the free ones. I'm looking for produce pictures since that's what I sell. So I just type produce. And it starts to show me pictures of produce that I can use. These are have all been approved. I'm not stealing somebody's work. I like this. It's colorful. It's nice, bright background. So I say I'm going to use that one. I click it. I say add image. And there it is. So now I like that much better. It's brighter, cleaner. And so you just kind of continue that process. You work your way through the home page. You change the footer. So if I want to edit the footer, Hester's the name of the template. I'd change it to be Arbor Produce. Put in my street address, my phone number. You get the idea. So you just start editing. When you're done, you can either save your changes, or maybe I did a bunch of stuff and I think I've messed it up and I want to back up and start over. I can discard my changes, go back to where it was last time I saved it. Moral here is, if you get some stuff you like, save before you keep going. So I've got my first page done. My home page is at least getting started. Here's my other pages. So if I click over here on pages, this template has a shop page and our story. This is the same as what I call About Us. It's got a blog. It doesn't have a Contact Us page, and I like Contact Us pages on my websites. I can come up here to the plus and add a page to the template. And again, these are the ones that are pre-formatted. I don't see a Contact Us here, but I can start with a blank page and edit it. And I can add what this vendor calls a section. And one of the sections they have is a contact. So I select contact. It has several options for my contact page, and I can look through them and see which one I like. And I kind of like this first one. It's nice and clean, simple. So there's my Contact Us page. And now I just go in and put in my information here. And this is already set up and will work. When somebody puts this information in and hits send, it's going to send it to me. So my page is done. I can say save it. And it is now there. One thing I forgot to do, it's when I look at my home page, it says new page. I don't want it to say new page. I want it to say Contact Us. I can go in and change that. So I want the title to be Contact Us. And for the navigation, I want it to say Contact Us. Save. It's now Contact Us. And so the heading is Contact Us, and this is the navigation. It's changed on the navigation. This is where you can go page to page. Questions? We're getting low of time. I want to go to the store and show you quickly how that works in case you do have items you're going to want to sell on your website. And again, the template has you some sample products in here. They're down here, so you can go in and see how they set these up. Then you'd probably want to go in and delete them all to get them off your website. But it's a good way to get started. I want to add something from scratch, so I'm going to click plus. It asks, what am I selling? Is it something physical? Is it something digital? Am I selling, photos or music or whatever that I'm selling digitally? In my case, it's something physical. So I add the name, and it's bread and butter pickles. Sticking with the pickle theme, you can put a description here. These are whatever. I can add an image I've taken with my phone, and it's on my computer. So I come down here to my pictures. Let's try those pictures. There it is. There's my pickles. Open. It puts in my picture. I can add additional pictures if I want to have several pictures of my bread and butter pickles. What do they cost? They're $4.25. If you want to run sales, I can say I'm going to have them on sale for $3.95. If you want to track inventory, a lot of them will let you track inventory. So I can say I've got a limited inventory and keep track of it, my inventory. There's some of the things that may differ between the different website builders, whether they track inventory or not. They'll all take credit cards. They may differ a little bit in terms of how that works. So those are some of the things you want to look at. This is a little confusing for what it says save and publish. I'm not publishing my whole website. I'm just publishing this to that page. And I don't want to give you feedback right now. Thank you. And it now rebuilds my page with my pickles here showing that they're on sale for $3.95.
So, Liz, if you were selling something that came in sizes, would you have to enter a different entry for each size, or would that be more a fashion template?
Yeah, that is something that could vary from one to the other. Most of the ones that I've used, I haven't tried to do that with Squarespace, but you could set it up when you're putting in your product. And let me even just go into here. I don't know. I can edit this product that I just created. Let me see if it has anything about the variations. I think it's where they just sell different versions of the same product. For example, a shirt that comes in multiple colors or sizes. So you can add variants. So that's where you could have, so maybe my pickles come in 8-ounce, 10-ounce, or 16-ounce sizes. I could add those 3 choices, and then they would pick which variant they wanted, have a different price for each variation. So that's how you do that. Yeah. All right, so we are out of time. Only 4 minutes left. I've run a little bit over here, but I did want to cover everything. So hopefully you've got a better idea about how websites work and what's involved. And I'm going to give you lots of homework in the email that comes out after class. So I do want to thank you for attending. Hope you enjoyed the class. There are a couple of related classes: using Instagram to market your business and how to create a free Facebook business page. So those are other other classes you may be interested in taking. I'll put those in that email coming out after class as well. So after class, you will get that email, and it'll have several sections, but the first is the class notes, which does have all these links I've been talking about. Lots of links in this one. So be sure and take a look at those links. It's got the review articles. I'll have links to those classes. And some of the other things we talked about, I'll have links in there to cover it. If you enjoyed the class and want to share it with a friend, you can post it a link on Facebook, or you can send a link via email. We'll give you 3 classes you may want to take. You can click on any or all of those to sign up for those classes. Give feedback opens our feedback form, where you can provide feedback. Only 2 questions. How do you want to rate the class? How do you want to rate the guide? 1 to 5 stars in each case. With a place for comments underneath. If you're enjoying being part of the Get Set Up community, there's things you can do to get more involved. We're always looking to start interest groups. And so we don't have an interest group around website building. So if you would like to host that group or be part of a group to get together to talk about which website builders you're using, things you're doing, how you're solving problems, let us know. help@getsetup.io. We'd love to help you set up that interest group. If there's classes you'd like to see us offer, for example, a class on how to build a website using Wix or Squarespace. And if you belong to an organization you think would be a good partner for us, and also to get a copy of the recording, any of those things, help@getsetup.io. If you don't get the email after class with all those great links, send an email to help@getsetup.io. Say, I never got the email from the website building class. They'll get back in touch with you and get you a copy of that email. Last link is view schedule. Takes you to our website where you can book another class. The sake of time, I'm just going to show you 2 things really quick. If you know what you're looking for, and the easiest way to find it is to just search for it. I'm going to type Facebook and find, and here's that class I was just talking about, create a free Facebook business page. So if you want to take that class, just search, click, create a free Facebook business page. You can book that class. The other thing you can do from the search is instead of searching for classes, if you're looking for classes that a particular guide is going to be offering in the next 2 weeks, that's pretty much our planning horizon. Type in that person's name and enter. It'll show you their classes. I put in my name. So this is the class I'm teaching later today. It is in chronological order. So you can just go out and look through all the classes. If there's one you want to sign up for, you can just click book. It'll take you to the sign up page. If you click book here, it will go ahead and book the class. Last thing I want to show you is something new we've added. If you want to invite a friend, so maybe there's somebody that you think would like to take the class and you want to take it at the same time, you can invite a friend, just put their email address here and click send, or you can copy the link, put it in your own email, post it on Facebook, whatever you want to do to share that link. Okay, we are out of time. I do want to thank you for attending. I hope you enjoyed the class and hope to see you again in another class real soon. Good to see everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks a
Bye-bye.
lot. You too.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Uh,